Okay, so I'm back with the '06 Scion XB. That little piece that I told you that goes back here. Sorry for the sun glare. There you go. It goes right here. It goes hooked up to this hose that goes all the way down here to the intake manifold, which is a Pcv valve. After further inspection, the PCV is functioning. I put pressure in on both sides that's actuating the way the pulses goes according to the specs of the PCV valve, and this thing is functioning. As you can hear, I mean, it's going to rattle. All PCV is going to rattle unless it's closed, stuck, or open, or something catastrophically happen inside. But you'll hear this little. If it rattles real hard, then there's a problem with this, but it's not rattling hard. I mean, I can feel the vibration and stuff after doing the check on this, on both vacuum and pressure. This thing is working and it is holding, so we know that it's not this. Again, I was going to the simplest thing before I go on to the more major thing, which is cylinder number 4, which is right here. You can see, sorry for the sun. I'm kind of working out in the garage, kind of outside. I don't want to occupy the bay. Lift it up because I have no reason to lift it up. Everything's all on top, so that's a good thing. But I know it's not this, so now I have to go into the Nord lights and bring the Nord lights out to make sure that there is injector pulse going to the injector, because I am getting spark. There is fuel going into there, but I'm going to remove the spark plug now and take a look at what the hell is going on with this vehicle. I sprayed some cleaner on the terminal post. Both positive and negative was completely corroded. People, that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't care what kind of vehicle you have. I don't care if it's the most expensive vehicle or if it's the most cheapest vehicle. Positive and negative posts are supposed to be looking like this plutonium right here, or the lead that's on top. It shouldn't have any corrosion, any green or white crusty stuff around it. It shouldn't be like that. And I already put some cleaner on it, but I mean, I'm going to go and remove them and clean it completely out, especially the positive cable. It shouldn't be like that. The negative cable, it could go, but one of the things that I'm going to do for this particular customer is do an earth ground system, which is to take a negative wire, since it's already going to the chassis and the computer. I'm going to probably use the shock tower as one point for the negative. I'm going to bring another wire probably underneath the intake, crossing through, and put it to where each of the coils have a ground wire going to the top of it. So at least I know that each coil is independently grounded to the battery and not to the engine itself. I'm going to do a little bit of modification so that this car can at least survive and get him another 60 to 70,000 miles before he has to go and either do a complete engine overhaul or he's going to swap out the car. Again, this is the Mrs. car, so what he told me and informed me was until it dies. Just keep it alive so that she can run it some more until it dies. And I told them, well, I can restore it, I can repair it, I can do whatever it is, and I can give you the maximum mileage that this engine can actually give you, which it should be about 230,000 miles, with lack of maintenance. Hopefully they do the oil change the way they're supposed to be, and putting in 530, I will put in 520, or a 1 quart of zero weight, just to make sure that when the engine starts over, that zero weight shoots straight up and lubricates all the cam area. I don't want to put any thicker oil in there because all it's going to do is mask whatever problem is going on. I'm trying to get as much lubricant inside all the bearings to clean the bearing galleys and everything out, and anything that's clogging it, hopefully it should disintegrate it. One of the things I like using is called the Hot Shot Stiction Eliminator. I used it on that Honda right there. That's my baby. It's a 2001 and it has 180,000 miles since Hot Shot came out, and I put it in my diesel semi truck and cleaned the engine out. I mean, I was shocked when I tore my engine apart and looked at all the parts inside and found that majority of the soot from the diesel was completely gone from the engine. And we have two of these semi trucks that are the same from Freightliner, and it did wonders. So if it did wonders on a semi truck, just imagine what it can do to a car. And all I did was put 1 quart of that and 4.5 quarts of my synthetic blend, ran it to my next oil change, drained and flushed, and then put full synthetic inside of it. And I mean, she is purring like when I first got her out of the dealership. So there are little things that you can do to at least help. You don't want to mask the problem and put like Lucas. I mean, everyone for me has always been telling me, go Lucas, put Lucas. One, this is not a race engine. I mean, I'm not doing quarter miles and half a mile runs and then the car is just going to sit there. This is a daily driver, meaning it's a different strain compared to you running quarter of a mile, then you cool the car off, then run another quarter of a mile, cool the car off, and then the car sits there till next week, and then you're doing another quarter of a mile or half a mile runs, and then for the remainder of the week the car is just cooling off. This is a daily driver, so for the Lucas products, I mean, as a technician, I'm going to say it like this. You got to be careful and very careful with mechanics in a bottle. If you got a blown head gasket, most people like to use that Blue Devil crap. Once your head gasket's gone, I mean, it's gone. And your head gasket can break from the exhaust side of the gasket. It can break from the coolant to the compression side of the gasket. It can break from the oil to the compression side. It can break from the coolant to the oil side. I mean, it has so many ways where that gasket can break and cause failure. This is not even including the warpage on your upper heads that will cause that problem also. One of the things how you know when the product has been in the vehicle is that you will see like a bluish or whitish tint from wherever it's leaking from, and that's how you get to find out. For those who are buying vehicles, I suggest you take a 10 millimeter socket and a 12 millimeter socket, especially for the cars that have those big covers on it. Um, or even like the little cover that you see right there that I'm pointing at. You see how dirty that is, but I can make it spit shine to where it is like glaring at you. And I can clean this engine bay and make it look brand new. And you wouldn't even notice all the dirt underneath it because that cover is on top of it. And you will never see where it's leaking from, like right here. I mean, say this wasn't here, but I saw all this debris of oil on there, then I know that this side of the gasket is failing, so either I'm going to have to retighten this part of the seal, or I will have to remove the valve cover and check why this side of the seal is leaking more than all the others. But because this is right here, I know that the oil is just dripping down when they pour it in. So this is why I don't like products like that. What's that other one? Those micro lubricants that they be selling you, like Slick 50, Prolong, what's that other one called? Z-Max, Extreme Lube, Lucas Stabilizer, all of that crap that you see that they sell. I mean, you really don't need it. If you do your proper maintenance and do what you're supposed to be doing to your engine can last you. Those kind of products there, I mean, if you don't use them from the beginning, since you got your vehicle, and then you're using that once your vehicle is at 100,000 miles, it's not even worth it. You're just throwing money away. Might as well just give me the money, because that's what you're doing. I notice that some people will also do the same thing with like BMWs. And for those who own the BMWs, doesn't matter what series you have, I get to see these BMWs blowing black smoke, and they will take it to the shop, spend $1,000 repairing something that doesn't need repairing. Then you find out that on the side of the BMW, when you remove these caps, there's a rubber garment inside, like a diaphragm, and sometimes they split and they will seep oil through there, and it will go through, and it will create the black smoke that you see coming out of your exhaust. Most of the time when you see something like that also, it's either because of lack of oil or excessive oil. My recommendation to anyone who's having this type of problem is to make sure that your gaskets are all set, that your valves are seating right, and that the grommets are not, destroyed. For instance, on this vehicle, let's say if it was blowing black smoke because the intake's in the front, I can go ahead and remove the intake and take a look at the back of the valves. One of the problems that direct engines like this is called a direct fuel injection, and carbon will build up on the valves. One of the things that I always recommend, and I recommend this to everyone. I don't care if it's a brand new car, I don't care if it's an old car, whatever the procedure may be. You see people putting stuff in their fuel injection cleaner, fuel system cleaner, and blah, 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 all these cleaners inside that tank. But how do you clean your valve when the injector is spraying directly into the piston and not hitting the valve and then going into the compression system where the piston meets and the explosion happens? So that's the problem with direct injection systems. I've seen vehicles that have both of them. Those are the vehicles that at least survive a little bit, but I will take, I don't have it here, I will take something like this. I'll go to the dollar store, get me a spray bottle. Yep, I said it. Go to the dollar store, get me a spray bottle like this. I will fill it up with cool, ice cold water. I will run the engine to where it's at, operating temperature, because I know that this is the injection side of it and this is going in. On this particular vehicle, I will go and I will spray water through here, have someone sitting down and rev the engine up to 200 RPM as I spray water to decarbonize the valve systems and anything along the plaintiff and the runners, so that way it's all cleared out.